Hi, welcome, it's Dean here again from DMB Collection, and today you find me behind the wheel of one of my all-time favourite driving cars, which is the Porsche GT4. And this is very nice indeed. Take a look at this. So I'm currently parked up just on the side of a lay-by here in North Yorkshire on one of the nice country lanes, which is obviously a very nice place indeed to take out such a lovely car that handles so well. So talking about the Porsche Cayman GT4, why is it such a popular car? Why is it very well liked? Well, to start with, of course, Porsche, when they developed the Cayman back in 2005, they decided to bring out effectively what was a Boxster, but with a hard top and making it a coupe, because obviously the engine was based in the middle, which of course in turn gives the car its extra agility because of the handling of the car. The car's very well balanced. And I remember when I was working back at Porsche and they brought out the very first Cayman that we had in stock. It was a Guards red car with black leather. It was an 05 plate car, and we had the opportunity to obviously go pick up customers and things like that in lots of Porsche products. And I personally found myself jumping straight into the Cayman S that we had in stock. Back then, of course, it was a 3.4 litre engine, but it was just the way the car handled was just so impressive. And of course, they had to be very careful, the Porsche, because the actual Cayman itself was very close to treading on the toes of its big brother, the 911, of course, and they didn't want to do that. Now, we all know that Porsche could particularly put an engine inside this car, turbocharge it, make the car four-wheel drive. That would be an insane car, by the way, but of course it would be a phenomenal car indeed. So in light of the fact that the Cayman S itself is a very good car indeed, they decided to bring out and produce a Cayman GT4, which obviously housed a bigger engine, obviously more power. It got the suspension upgrades and everything else and made it look a lot more aggressive. So of course, when I first found out about the GT4, and of course it's a manual, which is what you want as a real driving car, is a 6-speed manual gearbox. It's a very short throw on the gearbox as well. The sound of this car is intoxicating. It really is. That naturally aspirated engine. I mean, it's not blisteringly fast. That's the thing about the GT4, is it sort of winds itself up quite nicely throughout the rev range of the car, and you can utilize all this car's power. To me, it's just enough power for what you need on these roads particularly, and obviously if you do envisage on taking these cars on the track as well. This car, of course, is fitted with the Club Sport pack. So of course this one's got the actual racing harnesses along with the bucket seats as well, but being very nicely finished off inside with the full leather and of course the red stitch as well. And I'm sure you'll agree, it looks absolutely fantastic. Just have a look at some of the interior parts on this car. So some of the favourite features I like about these are the fact that it's got two boots. It's got what's called as a frunk these days, and of course you've got the back boot as well, of course, in the Cayman. So it's actually a very practical car. You'd be very surprised how much gear you can actually get in this, with a couple of small suitcases at front or a few holdalls, big holdalls in the back as well. So if you're planning on going across Europe, for example, then you know, this will more than suffice to sort of take on board some of the equipment that you might need for going out on a short tour. And if you do have chance to go abroad, you have to venture on some of the best driving roads in Europe in a Cayman GT4, because this really is a proper driver's car. So without further ado, let's fire up that engine. Ooh, she sounds lovely. We'll turn on the sports exhaust. We'll engage sport as well, because that obviously gives you that nice little blip on the downshifts as well, and basically makes you feel like a racing driver when really you're actually probably not. But anyway, let's get the belt on. You have the option of this as well, as opposed to the harness. Obviously harness is really just for track use. So Traffic's clear, let's go. They're just so easy to drive, absolutely easy peasy to drive. The nice thing is I like is the weighted steering that you get here. It's nicely weighted and balanced through the steering wheel. The visibility is very good on the Cayman GT4. But of course, as I said to you before, what's more intoxicating is the sound of these cars. So what do these Caymans sound like? They sound like this. Wow. What a sound. These are just absolutely awesome. One of my friends as well, Aaron, who came on board with us to Monaco when we all went out on the driving on the lovely roads out there, the Col de Torini. He was way up in front and not far behind Archie actually, and he was very, very surprising despite everybody out there having more powerful cars in terms of brake horsepower, because it was on the twisty bends. He was gone, literally, absolutely flying he was, tucking along, singing along. So if you're thinking that you fancy a real driver's car and you quite like the look of a Cayman, the GT4 is without doubt one of the best driving cars you can ever buy. So just to give you an idea on some of the stats on this car, of course, the GT4, it produces 385 brake horsepower, or PS as it's referred to. The overall 0 to 60 on this one is just slightly over 4 seconds. However, because this is a mid-engine car, the noise and the drive, if I engage Sport, put the Sports exhaust on, there's more than enough power . Listen to that. Just coming from that 3.8 litre naturally aspirated engine. These really are now certainly an awful lot of car for the money. So this GT4 is obviously now into our stock of DMB collection, and it's one thing that we're very proud of is bringing you some of the best spec and nicest examples that we possibly can. Of course, this with the specification is great, you know, it ticks an awful lot of boxes, and of course now I think these represent very, very good value for money. This car is now on sale at $69,995. It's only covered 6,000 miles from new, so very little miles of course has been used in this car every year. But again, I think some people do buy these really as a third car or a bit of a toy, obviously, if they can. But now I think these cars are very, very good value for money, and like most of the GT products from Porsche as well, you can rely on the fact that they are a very good solid investment, just to give you a bit of confidence in knowing that these cars will now slowly depreciate and you can enjoy them without worrying too much about them losing an awful lot of money. But I can guarantee you, you'll certainly enjoy it. So please do subscribe, guys. We've got some great content to come. We've got some lovely cars in stock as well, which I'd like to share with you. But for now, until next time, see you later. Bye bye.